Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Where are we today? We're here at the park doing drills again. Like I told you the other day, this is one of the most important parts of training, especially for people that have anxious dogs, reactive dogs, and everything in between, right? Yesterday I was telling you guys about anxiety. I gave the example of my little one over here, and I have shown you this exercise before. So let me show you again. We're still working on it. So I tell everybody that e-collar is the best tool to work, especially in anxious dogs, right? Anxious, reactive, all that. But when your dog is anxious, he doesn't want to hold command. It makes them uncomfortable. They don't want to be apart. They don't want to be away from you. They don't want to sit still. And this is really the case for my little one over there. Now Emma does this very well, but she is the one. Nope, down. See, just a verbal command, verbal reinforcer. But these are all markers, right? But the little one over there is the one that we're working on. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did the other day. So what is it? I park them here and I walk around. Nope. Down. So you see, this is good so you guys can see how one dog can affect another one. Emma doesn't have a problem with that, but because Pipa is constantly anticipating, she will eventually anticipate if I don't correct her. So I think this is a great example of why corrections are so necessary for dogs, especially when you're working with 2 or more dogs. There's a big chance that one of them are going to break. But look at this. This is a lot better than the other day. Here. Good girls. Good job. So that part right here, they got it down very nicely. Is the first part that we have to work on. So today is kind of hot, which helps me in the sense that they're not going to be too hyper. They want to, like Emma, she's going to want to lay down where the concrete is wet so she can relax, and people will get tired easily. So I'm using all that in my favor, right? I can't stay here for too long because of the weather, because it's hot, but the time I spend here, I want to move around and make sure they stay in their place. So we're working on duration. This is the goal, right? Every time you have a dog that you have to work on duration, you're going to bump into things like this. So you have to walk around, not necessarily straight away from them immediately, but walk around. Walk around in a way that they can see you moving and they don't move. Actually, you created enough distance and call them back. But you always have to be aware of the dog's predisposition to anticipate the command. You don't want that. You want to cut that out and make the dog understand that there will be a command to call them back. Until then, you don't move. So like I told you guys the other day, you do this over and over and over again. You can do like a semicircle around them in the beginning, just so you're close enough. Now, down. Pipa, come here. So you see, held her on the e-collar and brought them back. You see, these 2 dogs here have been through e-collar training. So that's why I'm not using a leash, right? The leash is in the beginning stages. They both understand e-collar pressure. So that's why I can just put them back in there without a leash. And that's already a big thing. A lot of people can't do that. So nope. Training with the e-collar is a lot easier once they understand the stem, because that way I can really work on this stage right here without having to use a leash all the time. So you keep moving around, right? The goal is for you to keep moving. This is not good. I'm going to put them back. No reward, no punishment. They were already in between. Come here. I can see Emma is a little bit unsettled because of the heat. Pipa, down. She absolutely hates the heat. She's a winter dog, but when it's too hot, she doesn't really want to do much. But it's fine. I have to use this in my favor, right? Pipa is now distracted with something else in the background. Come on, love. Good job. You see, when something else distracts Pipa, she'll completely forget the exercise. You see how she didn't stay there because of the command itself. She was looking at something else. So let's go back to the semicircle, right? If you're having too much trouble going too further away from the dogs and they're constantly anticipating, do the semicircle. What's a semicircle, right? They're here, so I'm gonna just do this. Nope, down. Just go. I'm just gonna be like this, like a semicircle around them to make sure they're still in place, right? So it requires a lot of patience and a lot of repetition and consistency and attention, right? Because you have to be able to do this. Like, she almost broke command. I just correct her. It was just really a voice correction just to keep her there. Like I said, this is really not necessarily a fun part, but it's what needs to happen in order for these dogs to complete this exercise perfectly. Here, there you go. This is a good one. Come on, love. I know.